So let's talk about something that I bet a lot of you have seen happen. You have this brilliant AI pilot project, everybody gets super excited about it, and then it just fizzles out. It never makes that leap from being a cool experiment to something that actually delivers real value across the entire company. Today, we're going to dig into why that happens and, way more importantly, how to get out of that trap. So does this sound familiar at all? You've got these really promising AI models, you've even run some successful tests, but then they just stall. They get stuck in the lab, you know? They never actually make it out into the wild where they can do some good. It's a huge, and let's be honest, a really frustrating problem for so many companies out there. Well, believe it or not, this limbo state actually has a name: pilot phase purgatory. It's that spot where you've proved the AI model can work, but you just can't seem to industrialize it. And what that really means is you can't wrap the right security, the right governance, all the boring but essential stuff around it to roll it out to everyone. It's basically the giant chasm between the money you're spending and the real results you're supposed to be getting. Okay, so why? Why does this keep happening over and over again? What are these hurdles that stop these amazing AI pilots from going big? Let's get into the real reasons why scaling your AI so often just hits a brick wall. And this, right here, really gets to the heart of the problem. The old way of doing things, the traditional approach, is to build these bespoke, one-off solutions for everything. It's like building a custom car from scratch every time you need to go somewhere. It relies so much on human labor that it's just incredibly slow and expensive. And this creates these huge roadblocks. Leaders get worried, and rightly so, about getting locked into one vendor. And they're terrified of piling up massive technical debt, which is really just the cost you'll have to pay later for taking the easy route now. So this brings us to the solution, and it really requires a totally different way of thinking. Instead of building everything from scratch, the new mantra is assemble, don't build. It's a platform-first mindset that is a total game changer. And the real power of this idea is that you're not starting from zero. With a platform approach, you're using the tech and the investments you already have. You don't have to rip up your core infrastructure. It means you can work with multiple clouds, multiple vendors, and use both open and closed source models. And that's the key. It directly tackles those big fears of vendor lock-in and technical debt that we were just talking about. And look, this isn't just a nice theory on a slide. We've got the numbers to back it up. IBM actually built an internal platform for its own consultants called IBM Consulting Advantage. And after using it on 150 different client projects, they saw a productivity boost of up to 50%. I mean, just let that sink in. Their logic is pretty simple. If their own platform can make their own people that much faster, imagine what it can do for their clients. Okay, so theory is great, data is even better. But what does this actually look like in practice? How are real companies using this whole platform idea to get things done? Let's dive into some real-world examples. First up, we've got Pearson, the global learning company. They're a perfect example. They're using what's called an asset-based service, which basically means they're using pre-built, reusable components, kind of like high-tech Legos, to build their very own custom AI platform. So what are they actually making? Well, they're creating this amazing ecosystem where their human experts work right alongside AI agents. The AI helps with the day-to-day work, with decisions, creating this true blended workforce of digital and human talent. And the goal isn't to replace people. Not at all. It's to basically give their human experts superpowers. All right, now for a totally different kind of challenge. We've got a manufacturing firm that used this platform approach not just for a single project, but to build out their entire generative AI strategy. For them, it was all about creating a solid, secure foundation for everything they wanted to do with AI in the future. And you've got to appreciate how they did this. They were incredibly methodical. First, they figured out where AI could deliver the most bang for the buck. Then they tested small prototypes to make sure it all worked. Now, here's the crucial part. They got all the leaders on the same page with a scalable strategy before they did anything else. Only then did they roll out their AI assistants in a secure environment. You see? That step-by-step process, that is how you escape pilot purgatory. So what all of this is really pointing to is a new mindset. To really win with AI, leaders have got to shift their focus. They need to stop chasing the next shiny object and start thinking about the foundational structure. It's a huge move from thinking just about models to thinking about architecture. You know, this quote from Muhammad Ali over at IBM Consulting just hits the nail on the head. He says, many organizations are investing in AI, but achieving real value at scale remains a major challenge.
And that's the whole thing in a nutshell, right? It's that massive gap between spending the money and actually seeing it change your bottom line. So if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. The conversation is finally shifting. For way too long, everyone was obsessed with the models themselves. Which one was the newest, the biggest, the smartest? But for companies that really want to win, the focus now is on the architecture. It's about building the plumbing, the framework that you need to run these incredibly powerful models safely, securely, and at a massive scale. And that leaves us with one last and, I think, pretty critical question for you. When you look at your own organization's AI strategy, what do you see? Are you still focused on building individual, isolated models? Or are you focused on building the platform that's going to let those models scale and truly transform your business? Because honestly, the answer to that question could be the difference between staying stuck in purgatory and actually achieving real, game-changing value.